Welcome. Today we will start with one of the very interesting chapters in Indian culture, and that is the Indian bronze sculptures. Now, how does this bronze sculptures were formed? The process was very interesting. This was known as lost wax technique or Serapedu. What happened under this technique was there was a wax model that was created or a wax image that was created with minute wax wires to give it a kind of intricate shape. On this you had a clay layer that was covered with it. So that was made up of clay, sand and cow dung. Once this was done, this was kept or solidified. Then it was melted. Now as soon as it was melted, the wax was coming and you had this wax that was replaced by the molten metal, which was an alloy of gold, silver, copper, brass and lead. Now once this was put in, you had the solidification process that was taking place, and finally the outer layer of the clay was removed and you had the bronze sculpture that were created. And this was a very interesting process of creation of statues during that period. Most of the religions, be it Jainism, Buddhism, witnessed these kind of statues or sculptures that were seen. Let's first start with the Harappa and the Mohenjo-daro civilization. So during that time you had a dancing girl posture that was seen, which was known as the Tribhanga posture during that time. And this was one of the very unique postures with long torso and a kind of tubular body that was seen. Similarly, in Daimabad in Maharashtra, if we see, there was chariot that was seen. The wheels were circular. The one who was driving the chariot had an elongated body, and there were bulls that were modeled. Similarly, during this time, Kushan period, you had Jain Tirthankars that were captured, and these statues were mainly seen in the region of Chausa near Bihar. In this you had the Adinath or the Rishabdev. The hairs for those were long. However, for all other Tirthankars, you had the short curly hairs that were shown. When it came to Buddhism, most of the Buddhist statues were seen in Abhay Mudra, mainly in the northern Indias of UP and Bihar. You had the Sangati or the monk's robe that was shown, which was draped on the right side, and in the left arm you had the end of the drapery that was shown. So that was again a very unique feature that was seen during that time. These images or these figures were very youthful and proportionate in compared to the Kushan style that we discussed. Similarly, a little modification was seen during that time in the Mathura style, where you had the drooping down curves that were seen, and finally you had the Sarnath style. In the Sarnath style, you had all the drapery which was foldless. There was no fold that was seen, and this is a major difference between Kushan, Mathura and Sarnath style. Now, in Bihar and Sultanganj, there was a very unique monumental bronze figure that was seen. Similarly, in the region of Maharashtra near Fofnar, you had Vakataka bronze images that were seen. The ideas were driven from the Amravati style in Andhra Pradesh, and most of the figures that were seen were in Abhay Mudra. So right hand was with the drapery and free. So the left hand was where the drapery used to end. And this was a very unique creation during that time. Now came the various empires and the dynasties. So let's talk about the Gupta period and the Vakataka period. During this period, most of the sculptures that were made were small and portable. Monks used to carry those from one place to another, and that was one of the reasons primarily why they were small and portable. They were even going overseas across the borders. Kota near Vadodara was one of the major centers. Most of the Jain Tirthankars like Mahavir, Parshnath, Adinath were created during this time. Again, during this time, with the Tirthankars, you had the female gods or the goddesses that were the Yakshanis or the Shashna Devis that were made. So you have Charkeshwari of Adinath and Ambika of Neminath, which were two popular sculptures that were made during the Gupta and the Vakataka period. This was the major development in the Jaina concept. However, later on, if we on to the regions of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, you see a numerous Buddhist and Hindu gods and goddesses that were seen during the 8th to 10th century period. One of the very unique creatures or the sculptures during that time was the four-headed Vishnu, which was also known as the Chaturanan or the Vaikuntha Vishnu, with the center face of Vasudev and the two other face of Narsim and Varaha. Similarly, in Himachal Pradesh, there were lots of sculptures seen of Mahishasur Mardini Durga and again the Narsimha avatar. So those were some of the major creations during that time. In the region of east, you have the Bihar and the West Bengal area where you had the Pala dynasty, and Nalanda being one of the major centers in the 9th century. Near Nalanda, you had the Kurihara, which revived the classical style that Gupta period used to do. So, four-armed Avloktareshwari was one of the major creations that were done during that time. Female goddesses were worshipped mainly during the Vajrayana sect of Buddhism. Similarly, you had the image of Tara that was shown. Tara was shown on a lotus with the right hand with Abhay Mudra position. So that was again one of the major developments. In the south, we saw the Pallava period followed by Chola period. So Pallava period during the 8th, 9th century and Chola period from the 10th to 12th century that was seen. Kumbakonam was one of the major centers where you had all of the development that was seen. And most interestingly, Chola period, most of the kings there were art lovers, so there was a lot of development in art and culture during the Chola period that was seen. In the 10th century, one of the Chola queens was sculptured, and that was the Sembyan Mahadevi. Now when we come on to Palas, we see Shiv in the Ardhaparanyak Asan with the right hand in the Achman Mudra. That was a mudra which showed drinking of the poison by Shiva. So that was one of the major sculpture that was drawn created during that time. Similarly, dancing figure of Shiva was shown in the Chola period. You had the Panigrahan ceremony or the ceremony of marriage of Shiva and Parvati that was shown. Similarly, Ardhanarishwari or Ardhanarishwari Murti was created during the Chola period. During the Chola period, you had Nataraj that was created, and Nataraj was in itself a very unique creation. So Nataraj was the figure of Shiva showing the right leg on the demon of ignorance, which was known as Apsamara, and the left hand crossing the right leg that was shown. So right leg was on the demon of ignorance, left leg was crossing the right leg that was shown, and this was known as the Bhujanga Mudra. And then you had the four hands that was shown, the upper right hand with the Damru, the upper left hand that was shown with Dholhast, and similarly you had a Abhay Hasta that was seen. The hairs were locked up in the Jwala Mala or the garland of flames that was shown, and this was considered as one of the positions where Shiva was shown in a angry mode. Similarly, during the Vijayanagar period, you had the 16th century developments in Andhra Pradesh that were seen. Mainly at Tirupati, you had the Krishna Dev Rai along with the two queens, the Trimbumala and the Chinna Devi that were shown. The two most important things during this time was the likeness of the facial gestures along with idealization. Similarly, there were numerous standing positions that were seen, and this was known as the Namaskara Mudra or the praying posture. So those were some of the major developments that were shown in the bronze sculptures. We will be bringing many interesting videos for your art and science. So keep in line. Have a wonderful day ahead.